There are things you know, and there are things you don't know, and there are things you don't even know that you don't know. I don't think I've been so unsure of making a video as this one before, but whenever I've talked about these practices, I've received quite a response because most of them are clueless about it or they have no idea what goes inside. And I feel like this should be out there to educate others on what not to do when you're growing on Instagram. There's a huge gap between influencers and followers, and there's sort of an iron curtain or a black box between the two parties. And this video is meant to bridge that gap. Hi, I'm Raksha, and today we are going to be talking about tactics a lot of Instagrammers use to grow their audience. The things I'm going to mention here fall under deceptive or false advertising because they're not really being authentic or truthful, one, to their brand, and two, to their audience, and three, to the brands that they are working with. Honestly, I know these because I've implemented some of them myself in the past. And before we go ahead, I'm not going to be taking any names in this video because that's not what I want to do here. But I want to show this to the audience to make them notice the difference between authenticity and fakeness, and the dirty tactics that go behind the scenes. Because at least after this video, it's not going to be a secret anymore. To be completely frank, growing on Instagram is really hard, and which is why a lot of creators resort to these tricks. Watch till the end for my 2 cents on how to build an Instagram audience. You're getting to the point of no return. Are you ready? A loop giveaway is when a group of influencers host a giveaway together rather than separately on their own accounts. They pool in their money to buy a prize which is given to the participant who wins this giveaway. And there could be 20, 50 or even 100 influencers participating in this giveaway. And individual participants will have to follow all the influencers on Instagram. It goes in a loop sort of, and it might sound familiar because I'm sure you've come across this. While it may seem straightforward and easy way to get a chance to win the prize, a free trip or a luxury bag or an action camera or even a brand new car, critics of Loop giveaway argue that they are basically buying followers, which under Instagram's policy is considered spam. If you still think it's genuine, just look at this email that I received and it's gonna change your mind. And no, I did not respond to this email. So no, I haven't really participated in Loop giveaways. According to Instagram, artificially collecting followers is considered spam. And this is exactly what's happening here because these kind of giveaways rarely bring in genuine audience or conversations. Right? It's more of a petty way to get random followers and not people who are really interested in what you have to say. So it comes as no surprise that a lot of these accounts lose followers after the giveaway has ended. Have you ever come across an account where you see comments from the same set of people across multiple posts? It could be because all of them are part of engagement groups. You would be surprised by the kind of rules that these engagement groups have. Being part of engagement groups, you aren't really creating value or helping your audience, but instead trying to build fake engagement to your posts to encourage other engagements or even land brand deals, right? How do I know this? Because I've been there and I've done that. It was just mind-numbingly boring and I realized I wasn't creating any value this way. Did you know there are hundreds or thousands of Telegram groups out there to garner likes or followers, and these groups have thousands of members, and it's insane. It's insane how systematically it's managed and how massive they are. So how does it work? Usually there are threads for getting likes or followers on your posts and you need to participate in that thread. So if it could be that thread has 500 accounts, so then you will get 500 likes from a single thread. Telegram groups were an oh my god moment for me because I had heard about it before, but I did not realize how deep it runs. I think last year I bought an Instagram marketing course, and as part of that course, they actually pointed me to Telegram groups, and they made it seem like a smart idea because so that you can get that many likes or followers for your client accounts, right? But I would never buy a course from them because it's deceptive. You might have seen feature accounts where they only curate content from different accounts. There's no original content, and with tens of thousands or even 100,000 of followers featuring mediocre content. Chances are they are getting paid to feature each of these accounts. It seems like a neat trick or maybe quick publicity, more like an advertisement maybe, but then again, most of these feature accounts may not have a genuine community to begin with. They might have bought followers themselves or maybe doing false advertising. It doesn't really create value or genuine conversations unless it's from a brand that people trust. Then they need to be outright that they are advertising, right? Otherwise, it gives a false impression. So there are websites which automate the whole process of follow, unfollow, like, comments even. For example, you might have come across a sad picture and there would be a comment like this is stunning or great pic, like generic comments. Recently, I'm seeing a lot of bot comments when I ask questions on Instagram. And the comments have nothing to do with the question, of course, but makes it seem like it's genuine when it's not. Point to note here is that Instagram is getting stricter with their APIs as well, and they have restrictions on the kind and amount of requests as well. And not to mention that the new Graph API of Instagram has put a lot of these bogus apps out of business. So if you're using a third-party app, be really careful of the kind of app and the kind of API they are using because they might be violating Instagram policies. This is the most common one out there used by most influencers to grow their following. It's what it sounds like. They follow you and then after a few days, they might unfollow you. Chances are that you have already come across this. It's understandable, I feel, if someone doesn't like your content or they don't agree with what you have to say, they choose to unfollow you or for whatever reason. But this is not that. This is a mass follow unfollow thing. And it's not personal, but it's just so annoying because it's not a one-off case. The same account might try to follow you again and again and again and again. You get my point, right? Even influencers with 50k or even 100k followers have done it at some point of time, or maybe doing it even now. I'm not saying everyone has done it, but a major chunk of them have. Not in the interest of making a connection or building an engaging community, but merely doing a follow and follow in the interest of numbers. It's not really helping anyone, actually. So to be honest, 2 years back I hired a freelancer who helped me with Instagram marketing, and all he did was follow and follow using targeted hashtags, and most of it was automated. It was a conflict for me because this is not how I wanted to grow my following, and I knew personally how annoying this could be. So I ended up discontinuing it later. Even though you did not know anything else about this topic, you probably have come across fake followers. I wanted to include it here because it's quite rampant. Like it or not, Instagram is a visual platform. If there's mediocre content and they seem to have followers in hundreds or tens or hundreds of thousands, they're probably doing it. Buying fake followers is so easy and cheap these days. There are plenty of websites and even Telegram groups designed for this specific purpose. And some websites even go the extra mile as they guarantee a genuine audience or genuine followers. But honestly, there's no such thing as genuine followers, right? Because how can you buy a connection with the audience? That has to be built and it has to be organic, so it cannot be bought. To be completely frank here, 2 or 3 years back, I bought around 750 followers because I knew that everyone else was doing it and I did not know any better, and it was just like a trial run. But honestly, it was just a crap decision on my part because I did not feel good about it and it did not really help me in any way. And that brings us to the conclusion of this video. But before we sign off, I promised you a bonus. I'm just gonna mention 2 tips here because I wanna keep it short, and honestly I can make a whole video on this and I don't wanna get there, so here it goes. So one is that while Instagram is great for connecting with your audience, it's not a good platform to get discovered. Best way of growing on Instagram is from outside Instagram. Basically a platform that is search friendly. It could be a blog, Quora, or YouTube. And the other one is create shareable content that you would share with your friends and family, for example. I hope you got some value out of this video and it gave you an insight on the ugly truths of Instagram influencers. And I hope you make better decisions going forward on the kind of accounts you want to be part of and not just go by numbers, because as you can see from this video, numbers can be deceiving. If you think there's some truth in this video, then don't forget to like, comment and share this video, because I have a feeling that there are going to be many dislikes anyway.